All right, fans. Well, welcome to Regency Furniture Stadium. We are all set for some baseball here. We're actually in the top of the fourth inning as that pitch is fouled back. The Blue Crabs have a 2-1 lead. They scored 2 runs in the bottom of the third inning. The Ducks got one in the top of the third. We're receiving major outages across the broadcasting company we use called Boxcast, and they were unable to stream to YouTube today, so we're streaming directly to YouTube. As the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs are in action against the Long Island Ducks, we're going to bring you as much information as we can throughout the broadcast to give you an idea of what's going on. I'll be a little more descriptive than usual since we don't have our typical camera angles. It was unfortunate as our broadcast was up and running very smoothly through our Boxcast system. We had all 3 cameras rolling, and we hope to have that all set up for you and ready to go for tomorrow's broadcast. But for now, it's the Blue Crabs 2. It's the Ducks 1 in the top of the fourth inning. The pitch from Eddie Butler is a swing and a miss. Strike 3. Runner heads off for first. The throw is in time to get Carlos Castro, and there are 2 away in the top of the fourth inning. We're going to run you through some numbers for both these teams in just a couple of moments as the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs come into this ball game with a 55-23 record. The Ducks are just 3-8 in the second half. They are 39-38 overall. Blue Crabs with 4 hits. The Ducks with 5 so far. It was a Michael Wolanski 2-run home run that gave the Blue Crabs a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the third inning. We're going to run through lineups. We're going to run through defensive alignment along with the starting pitchers in today's ballgame. Pitch from Butler. Called strike, outside corner. The count, no balls and 1 strike. It's Joe DiCarlo who steps in right now. He's the 7-hitter for the Ducks as Eddie Butler is set. The 0-1 offering from Butler. Fastball, a little bit low in the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. LJ Mazzilli's the leadoff hitter. Luke Ford bats second. He's the DH today. Alejandro De Aza bats third. He's the center fielder. Sam Travis in the cleanup spot. He's in left. Batting fifth, it's Davidson Romero. He's at third base as the pitch is a little bit low. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Carlos Castro bats sixth. He struck out moments ago. Joe DiCarlo in the 7th spot batting 8th. It's Vladimir Frias. 2-1 pitch. A little bit low once more. Count 3-1. Johnny Turbo bats 9th. He is in right field. Scott Harkin is on the mound for the Long Island Ducks. Your umpires tonight: Mike Mackey behind the plate, Jerry Burrish at first, and Bill Worthington is at third base. For the Blue Crabs, starting 9. We'll get to one moment once more. 3-1 pitch. Again, just a little low. Butler not a big fan of the calls from Mike Mackey in that at-bat. So Vladimir Frias will come to the plate with a runner on first base and 2 outs. Blue Crabs defensive alignment: Sundberg in left. In center field, it's Zach Collier. In right field, it's Braxton Lee. From third to first, Alex Crosby at third. At shortstop, it's Baca. At second base, Mike Wolanski. And at first, it is Jared Walker. Ryan Haug is behind the plate. He is doing the catching for Eddie Butler. The pitch is one a high pop-up, shallow left field. Long run, and it finds some open grass. Baca tracked it down quickly. Butler went over to third to cover, and it keeps the runner at second base. That's Joe DiCarlo. So just a pop-up down that left field side, and it's Vladimir Frias who wins a base hit off a little bit of luck, some great placement, and a Bermuda triangle between the third baseman, Alex Crosby, the shortstop, that's Michael Baca, and the left fielder, Jack Sundberg. Well, here comes Johnny Turbo. Turbo bats 9th. As the Blue Crabs have a 2-1 lead, they're being out-hit 6-4 though. Butler gets a sign from his catcher Haug. He's set. First pitch. A little bit off the outside corner of the count. 1 ball and no strikes. We understand that the Long Island Ducks also do not have a stream this evening. So if you are tuning in and you're a Long Island Ducks fan, we thank you for joining us on our broadcast this evening. 1-0 pitch upcoming. Here's the offering. Swinging a foul ball, first base side. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 away in the top of the fourth. Blue Crabs 2, the Ducks 1. We understand this is not our typical and traditional broadcast setup, but Unfortunately, due to Boxcast, which is our broadcasting streaming company, this is all we can have for this evening. Johnny Turbo, who's 1 for 1 today, also scored a run on an RBI double. Pitch. That one's low. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. From second base, it's Joe DiCarlo on first. It is Vladimir Frias with 2 away. Butler the pitch. Foul back. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Southern Maryland Blue Crabs come in 55-23, a 7-5 record in the second half there. 3 games back of the division lead in the North Division. It's Lancaster and Staten Island who are tied for first. Both sides have put up a terrific run to get things going in the second half. The Blue Crabs have won 3 of the 4 series, but are yet to sweep a series and lost 2 out of 3 against Staten Island, who's in first place. The 2 pitch, a little bit low. The count runs full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. With runners on first and second for Long Island. A big pitch coming up from Eddie Butler. Butler looks back the runner. Here's the 3-2. Runners go just outside ball 4. Butler did not seem like a big fan of that call as it just missed off the outside edge. Either way, it's ball 4, and the bases are loaded with 2 outs. And it's back to the top of the lineup with L.J. Mazzilli coming to the plate. So far, Butler 3 2/3, 6 hits. He's walked 2, but allowed just 1 run. 8 base runners across 3 2/3. But for the most part, he's evaded trouble. Allowed just 1 run in the 3rd inning, and to this point, that's it. Butler, first pitch, breaking ball, a little bit up in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. From third base, it's Joe DiCarlo. At second base, Vladimir Frias. At first, it's Johnny Turbo. 1-0 delivery. Check swing, inside, count 2-0. And it looks as though Eddie Butler has sort of lost the zone after walking DiCarlo. He walks Turbo, and now behind in the count, 2 balls and no strikes on Mazzilli. Pitch. Swinging a ground ball, third base side. It's past the reach of Crosby, all the way into the corner. 2-run score. It's Johnny Turbo who rounds third. He'll score all the way from first. A bases clearing double for L.J. Mazzilli, and the Ducks have a 4-2 lead. That ball very well struck off the bat of L.J. Mazzilli and past the diving reach of Alex Crosby all the way into the left field corner. The Blue Crabs had a 2-1 lead. No longer a 3-run double from L.J. Mazzilli as Lou Ford comes to the plate, and the Ducks have all of a sudden jumped right on top. Well, it took a couple of walks, it took a base hit, and then the bases clearing double from L.J. Mazzilli. And all of a sudden it is a 4-2 lead. This is L.J. Mazzilli is not having the best year of his career by any means, hitting just .238, but that time he comes up big. First pitch, big wave and a miss from Lou Ford. Talking about a living legend here in Lou Ford. He's now 45 years old. He's turning 46 in early August. Pitch, big wave and a miss. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The Ducks 4, the Blue Crabs 2. On the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network, we apologize that our traditional broadcast is not up and running tonight. We ran into some technical difficulties with our Boxcast system, the system that broadcasts our ball games. They were having large-scale outages on YouTube. 0-2 pitch, hard line drive, third base side, and it sends the Blue Crabs bullpen scattering. Getting out of the way of that ball. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. The Blue Crabs will need the bats to come alive. Lou Ford played 6 years in the majors, most recently in 2012. Since then, he's been with the Long Island Ducks. His age 45 season, and he's hitting north of 290. Butler set. He gets the sign from his catcher. That's Ryan Howard. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A 3 spot here in the 4th, and it's 4-2 Ducks. Pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Lou Ford goes chasing at a pitch low and away, and that ends the top of the 4th inning. The Blue Crabs now trail 4-2 after a 3-run 4th from Long Island. Stick with us. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Well, we welcome you back. It's the bottom of the 4th inning. We appreciate everybody for tuning in this evening. We had technical difficulties with the company we stream with called Boxcast, and unfortunately they had wide-scale outages on YouTube. First pitch, a big breaking ball from Scott Harkin, and it swung through from Alex Crosby. Talk about an off-speed pitch. I'd imagine that one came in around 55 or 60. 0-1 pitch upcoming from Scott Harkin. That's away, but on the outside corner in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Long Island 4, Southern Maryland 2. A 3-run 4th inning from the Long Island Ducks, and they've taken that 4-2 lead. 0-2 pitch, ground ball, hard hit, first base side, but it just goes foul. To the side of Carlos Castro. Crosby will be followed by Braxton Lee and Jared Walker. Walker hit in the 3 spot for a long time. 0-1 pitch, hard hit, first base side, foul yet again. The count 0-2, but he's going through one of those stretches right now where just not hitting the ball as well as he did earlier this season. 1 hit in his last 26 as the 0-2 delivery, line drive, left field. It's not all that hard hit, but Sam Travis comes in and makes the catch. There's 1 away. Ducks scored first. That was back in the top of the 3rd inning. But the Blue Crabs responded with 2 runs. It was a 2-run home run from Michael Wolanski. You talk about a guy who's hit incredibly well since coming over in the trade from the Long Island Ducks. Blue Crabs sent Austin Rye their direction, and Michael Wolanski came back for the Blue Crabs. Southern Maryland was looking for some answers at second base, and they have certainly found them. Michael Wolanski's become that everyday second baseman. The first pitch is a called strike on the outer half to Braxton Lee, in the count, no balls and 1 strike. Wolanski's playing every day. That batting average north of 330. The pitch, that's inside. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. Braxton Lee is 1 for 1 today. Had a base hit earlier. His batting average sits at 310. Pitch. That's a called strike in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. A pitch to Braxton Lee, swinging a foul ball. Just barely got a piece of it, and he stays alive. Scott Harkin, the exception of that 2-run home run given up to Wolanski's, looked awfully good tonight. Allowed just 4 hits across 3 1/3. Pitch, line drive, left field, foul yet again, and it hits the top of that Legends Club. And the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes on the lefty Braxton Lee. He'll be followed by Jared Walker, and if necessary from there, Ryan Haug to follow. Pitch, line drive, center field, base hit. 2 at-bats, 2 base hits for Braxton Lee. You talk about a pure contact guy. That's Braxton Lee, and he's hitting the ball very well, especially in the month of July, where that batting average creeps close to 400. Runner on first base, 1 out. Jared Walker with an opportunity to break out here for the Blue Crabs. And there's now a meeting between the catcher, Joe DiCarlo, and the pitcher, Scott Harkin. Really hasn't run into all that much trouble. Just a couple issues with Braxton Lee, and then of course back in the 3rd inning with the 2-run home run. But all in all, he's limited the damage. First pitch, a foul tip from Jared Walker in the count. No balls and 1 strike. We welcome Ducks viewers onto our broadcast, Blue Crabs fans, everybody who's joined us. We know we do not have our traditional broadcast set up today. Unfortunately, we ran into some issues with that with our Boxcast program, but we are up and running on YouTube Live, and happy we can at least bring you a stream of the Ducks and Blue Crabs game. Long Island 4, Southern Maryland 2. 1 run in the 3rd from the Ducks, 3 runs in the 4th. The Blue Crabs had 2 in the bottom of the 3rd inning. 0-2 delivery. A little bit outside. Beg your pardon. Count 1 ball and 1 strike now. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Bottom 4. Braxton Lee on first base. Here's the pitch. Called strike, and the count now 1-2. Scott Harkin's thrown as high as 91 today, but he's also used that breaking ball effectively. That first one that I mentioned could have come in at 55 or 60, officially measured at 64 miles an hour. But gives you an idea that he can really change speeds with that breaking ball. Pitch inside. And the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes on Jared Walker. His batting average at 233. He certainly has the home run power. 13 homers on the season. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Scott Harkin steps off the mound. Yeah. Southern Maryland has a 4-2 lead. As Walker digs back in. Pitch a little bit up and away. The count 3 balls and 2 strikes now on the lefty. Pitch, swinging a high pop-up, shallow center field, long run, and it is caught by the center fielder De Aza. He had a long ways to go, but he ends up getting there on the pop-up from Jared Walker, and it looks like that ends the inning. A double play as they manage to double off Braxton Lee over at first base, and that ends the bottom of the fourth inning as the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs trail 4-2 as we go to the top of the fifth. Top of the fifth inning, the Ducks have a 4-2 lead over the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. We welcome fans from Long Island, fans from Southern Maryland, and all across the area. We're still doing shout-outs tonight. First pitch, called strike at the thigh level, and the count, no balls and one strike. Comment in the YouTube chat where you are listening from, what your name is. We'd be more than happy to give you a shout-out for tonight's ball game. 0-1 pitch from Eddie Butler. Ground ball, first base side, foul, and the count, no balls and two strikes on Alejandro De Aza. He's 2 for 2 tonight. Has a .327 batting average that leads the Long Island Ducks. Speaking of leading the Long Island Ducks, he also ranks across the league as the 4th best batting average. The pitch, that one fouled off. Yet again on the count, no balls and two strikes. He came in at 320 I should say. But now that he's hit 327, he's passed Kelly Dugan. So now from 4th place in the Atlantic League to 3rd place, of course, the Blue Crabs and David Harris with that top average at 644. Pitch, check swing, managed to hold up in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes on the lefty. Well, the Ducks scored 1 in the 3rd. Blue Crabs scored 2 in the bottom of the 3rd. The Ducks with 3 runs in the top of the 4th inning. Now in the top of the 5th, Butler, first pitch, or 1-2 I should say. Top foul, first base side in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Eddie Butler has thrown 88 pitches. Pitch count really getting up there. Still no action in the Southern Maryland bullpen. It's a tough break for Eddie Butler, whose numbers were terrific in the month of July. Pitch fouled off, third base side. The count remains 1-2. Eddie Butler's numbers in the month of July: a 1.33 ERA and a 0.93 WHIP. But not so tonight. 4 runs across 4+ innings of work. 1-2 to De Aza. Check swing, but it got the barrel of his bat and deflected foul. And the count remains 1-2. 7 hits for the Ducks, 5 hits for Southern Maryland. 2 of those 7 hits belonging to De Aza. Additional 3 hits coming from the 7, 8, and 9 hitters. DiCarlo, Frias, and Turbo. They did some damage back in the 4th inning. All 3 of them came around and scored. Pitch a little bit low. Count 2-2. That's pitch number 90 for Eddie Butler. 61 strikes, 29 balls from the right-handed pitcher with 5 years of big league experience. Pitch, swinging a line drive up the middle, of base hit. De Aza with the 8th hit of the game for the Ducks, the 3rd hit for De Aza. And there's a runner on first base with nobody out. Surprised to see there's no action at all in the Blue Crabs bullpen. As nobody out, top of the 5th inning, the Blue Crabs trail 4-2. Pitch, ground ball, third base side. Foul at the last moment. It looked like it was in fair territory, but just barely fouled down that third base line. Travis, a better hitter at home than he is on the road. It's about 320 at home, just 256 on the road. And against Southern Maryland, just 2 for 16. Eddie Butler to the pitch. A little bit outside. Howe called for a pitch out, as it looked like De Aza might be going, but turns out Alejandro De Aza wasn't going anywhere. One ball, one strike, nobody out in the top of the 5th inning. Pitch, popped it up, foul behind home plate. Count goes to 1-2. Alejandro De Aza, not all that well known for stolen bases. He has 3 on the year, but it's not exactly like he's running all the time. This is a Long Island Ducks team that does not steal a lot of bases in general, just 20 stolen bases on the year. Compare that to the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, who have 85 stolen bases. Pitch, called strike 3, outer half, and Mike Mackey rings up Alejandro De Aza. 1 away in the top of the 5th inning. Ducks still lead the Blue Crabs 4-2, but Eddie Butler picks up his 6th strikeout of the ballgame. In some sense, these games for the Blue Crabs are all just preparation as they head toward the postseason. But in another sense, each game and it has its own importance. I'm sure the Blue Crabs would love to set an Atlantic League record for the most wins and have a chance at that North Division title here in the second half as well, as the first pitch is low and away in the count, 1-2. The Blue Crabs got things rolling back in the first half, and they ran with it. Southern Maryland Blue Crabs are 12-1 to start the year. Runner goes, throw down to second a little bit late. Pitch was low. It was a hard one for Ryan Howe to try to throw down to second. De Aza picked a good pitch to run on, and he steals second base successfully. Count 2-2 now on the 5-hitter Davidson Romero, who hits .261 with 8 home runs. But going back to that last point, the Blue Crabs started 12-1, and they were then 19-3. And it looked like the Blue Crabs were just going to run with things for the entire first half. I think for the most part they did. They had a 10-game lead, then 20 games of starting the season, and from there it was over. Blue Crabs ended up having an 11.5-game advantage over second, or 12-game advantage over second place Long Island. Pitch, line drive, left field, base hit. Around third, Alejandro De Aza will score. It's an RBI single for Davidson Romero. The Ducks have a 5-2 lead. Ball hit over the head of the third baseman, Alex Crosby, and into left field. All of a sudden, Eddie Butler has really found himself in trouble. He's now thrown 98 pitches and still no action in Southern Maryland's bullpen. It seems as though Blue Crabs manager Stan Clyburn's just going to let him go here through 5 innings of work. And, of course, you don't want to lose your designated hitter, but at some point you had to think if Butler's having some trouble, that you got to find some way to put someone else in to get these final outs. Runner on first base, 1 out, so Eddie Butler's not totally out of the woods yet. 1 run in the 5th here for the Ducks, a 5-2 lead. 1 run in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th, and 1 more here in the 5th. Carlos Castro, he's hitting .302 on the season, steps in from the right side. Pitch, topped it foul. First base side, and the count, no balls and 1 strike. Castro 0 for 2 today. He struck out twice. As the Ducks head toward the back end of their batting order, and in many ways it's similar to the Blue Crabs, where the back of the order is just about as strong as the top of the order. DiCarlo hitting .288, Turbo at .296. That's the 7 and 9 hitters, and Vladimir Frias, who's been a Duck staple for a few years. That's 8th pitch, swinging a weird hop off the mound. Could be 2, on a 2nd for 1. Wolanski on to first. It is a double play. 6-4-3 to end the top of the 5th inning and retire Carlos Castro and Davidson Romero at second base. We're finished with 4.5. The Ducks tack on a run. They lead at 5-2 on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. First pitch swinging from Ryan Howe, and he lines it into right center field for a base hit. Top of the 5th inning. The Ducks tacked on a run in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Ducks tacked on a run in the top of the 5th, and now lead this game 5-2. It's Michael Baca who comes to the plate. 8, 9, and 1 in the Blue Crabs order due up. It was Howe who just had a base hit, Baca, and from there, the Jack Sundberg who comes to the plate. Michael Wolanski, who hit the 2-run home run back in the 3rd inning, would come to the plate if necessary. We apologize, we do not have our traditional broadcast up tonight. We ran through technical difficulties as the pitch, swinging a line drive, first base side foul. Harkin sent. 0-1 pitch upcoming to Michael Baca. Here's the pitch. A little bit upstairs in the count. 1 ball and 1 strike on the righty. Again, fans, if you'd like a shout out in today's ball game, we're still doing shout outs. Let us know where you're listening from and who we are, and you'll get the we'll do a shout out with 1 out here in the 5th inning. So after the next out, we'll start doing some shout outs on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Pitch fouled off first base side, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes on Michael Baca. Nobody out in the bottom of the 5th inning. Donnie Geeky says he's back home and watching from Powder Springs, Georgia. Donnie, it's a pleasure to meet you back in High Point. If any other fans come over to either Waldorf or a team on the road and get a chance to watch some Blue Crabs baseball, please come by and introduce yourself. I'd love to meet all of you. Pitch swinging a high pop-up, right field side, and drops for a base hit. And now, Blue Crabs in a bit of a rundown situation. Baca headed back to first base. He's in a rundown. Haug's now going to take off for third, throw to third, gets by the third baseman Romero. Haug headed home. Nobody's covering the plate, and Ryan Haug's going to score a run. Oh, the comedy of errors. A pop-up down the right field side, and the right fielder for the Long Island Ducks, Johnny Turbo, never got there. It allowed Baca to reach. He then rounded first base. He went a little too far as Haug then took a larger lead off of second. He got caught in a rundown. The throw came to third, and the throw to third was wild. Haug was able to come around third and score a run. So the Blue Crabs now trail 5-3 on just a bizarre play. One I'm not sure I'll ever see again in a play like that. But either way, Haug comes home and scores from all the way from first base. Pitch now to Sundberg, line drive. It's right at the first baseman Carlos Castro, who makes a strong catch chest high, and there are 2 away. Bottom of the 5th inning, the Blue Crabs have gotten that run back. It's 5-3. I'd love to see that the way that last play is officially ruled. That goes down as a hit, an error, a bit of a mix. Either way, here is Michael Wolanski. Wolanski hitting .308 as a whole. He hit 200 with the Long Island Ducks. Pitch called strike on the outside corner of the count. No balls and 1 strike. So here's the official ruling. Baca singles to right, and he's out at first on the throw. Johnny Turbo's throwing error. I know it's going to be a throwing error on the first baseman Carlos Castro after the throw came back into first from Johnny Turbo. So, a very complicated play. Hopefully, you will understand exactly what happened there, and the camera can give you a little bit of aid as the 0-2 pitch is a little bit low and away. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes on Michael Wolanski. I was mentioning this earlier, but Michael Wolanski hit 200 with the Long Island Ducks before he was traded to the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. This is a guy with AA and AAA experience. Pitch, ground ball up the middle is a base hit. Michael Wolanski, in his first game back against the Long Island Ducks, has a 2-for-3 evening, a home run, and a single. And there's a runner on first base with 2 outs. The Ducks 5, the Blue Crabs 3. Southern Maryland scored on a bizarre play earlier in the 5th inning. And that's how we have a 5-3 ball game. Zach Collier will step in from the left side. Collier 0 for 2 today. He's hitting .264. Blue Crabs 3 runs on 8 hits. The Ducks 5 runs on 9 hits. Pitch, check swing, managed to hold up, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Harkin just threw his 83rd pitch of the evening. There's no action in the Blue Crabs bullpen. Now this is extremely surprising. We'll give you the numbers on Eddie Butler in just one moment. Pitch, bats outside, count 2-0. Butler ran into trouble in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th innings. He'll have 5 runs across those 3 innings. Butler's thrown 100 pitches. but it appears that he's going to go back to the mound after having thrown 100 pitches over 5 innings and try to start the 6th. 2-0 pitch, that's low. Count 3-0. And on average, Butler has thrown 20 pitches per inning. So if he's expected to finish the 6th inning, and it seems as though the Blue Crabs don't have an issue with him going 120. 3 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Pitch. A little bit inside. It's ball 4. Runners on first and second with 2 outs. And even if the plan is for Butler to go in the 6th, you'd think the Blue Crabs would have somebody warming up just in case. All the Blue Crabs are short-staffed. Southern Maryland made an official move earlier today where Bradley Roney was placed on the reserve list, as he's not expected to return, as the Blue Crabs now have 10 pitchers on their roster. Blue Crabs are expected to make a move as early as tomorrow, but nothing official yet, as the Blue Crabs look to add to their pitching staff. 24 total players in the roster, 10 pitchers, 6 bullpen arms for now. There still are some really good options out of that Blue Crabs bullpen, but Southern Maryland has made some moves. Of course, Denson Hall going to Charleston on July 4th. That brought Alex Merrithew into the rotation. Mackenzie Mills leaving for Mexico. That brought Nick Wells into the rotation. And then with Bradley Roney on his way out, the bullpen down to 6. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. Pitch to David Harris, line drive, right field. It's a foul ball. That ball is awfully close down that right field line. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. Would have been a 2 RBI double that tied this ball game, but just fouled down the right field side. And the count, no balls and 1 strike on the big right-handed bat who leads the Atlantic League in batting average at .345. David Harris 1 for 2 today. And in a slump, he did not hit well in High Point. His batting average topped .360 back at home in that last homestand against York. Pitch, big wave and a miss. Fastball snuck by David Harris, and the count, no balls and 2 strikes. If necessary, Crosby to follow, but for now it's Wolanski on second base. And a runner on first base. And Zach Collier, 0-2, that's away. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Southern Maryland already has a run into the inning as they trail 5-3. The runner on first base, Ryan Howe, came around to score on a bizarre play on a pop-up toward right field. This one, swinging a line drive, left center field, a base hit. Wolanski scores from second. The throw comes into second base. Collier from first to third. The Blue Crabs have cut the deficit to 5-4 here in the bottom of the 5th. And they're not done yet. Runners still on the corners with 2 outs. So for now, it's Collier from third. It's Harris from first with 2 outs, as Alex Crosby will come to the plate. David Harris, a 2 for 3 day, and he drives in a critical run in the bottom of the 5th inning to cut the deficit to 5-4. Crosby steps in. First pitch, called strike, outside corner. And a count, no balls and 1 strike. Crosby will be followed by Braxton Lee. 5 and 6 due up here in the 5th inning as the Blue Crabs have cut the deficit to 1. 2 runs in the 3rd, 2 more in the 5th. Swinging a topper, first base side. Going to be a long run for the first baseman, Castro, but he beats Alex Crosby to the bag, and that ends the inning. Well, the Blue Crabs score 2 runs. They cut the deficit to 1. It's 5-4 Ducks as we go to the top of the 6th. All right. First pitch to Joe DeCarlos popped up in the infield. Couple guys calling each other off, and it's Jared Walker who comes in to save the day and make the catch for the first out. Well, fans, we appreciate your tuning in tonight. It's the Ducks 5 and the Blue Crabs 4 in the top of the 6th inning. We apologize, we do not have our traditional setup up and going, as the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs have gotten 2 runs back in the bottom of the 5th. They trailed 5-2, but a bizarre play involving Michael Baca, who popped one up toward the right field side, and a couple of rundowns and a throwing error, and Ryan Howe came home and scored, and then an RBI single from David Harris brought in Michael Wolanski. That's how the Blue Crabs scored 2 runs in the inning. First pitch now, a little bit upstairs to Vladimir Frias. Count 1 ball and no strikes on the lefty. If you're listening from Long Island, if you're in the Waldorf area, or if you're anywhere else, let us know where you're watching from. We'll give you a shout out live on air. 1-0 count. Pitch is upstairs now. The count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Eddie Butler. Here's the 2-0. Ground ball through the right side for a base hit. Well struck from Vladimir Frias. He has 2 hits in the ball game. And there's a runner on first base now with 1 out after the single through the hole on the right side. And Vladimir Frias is on. That'll bring up Johnny Turbo, who's at 1 for 1 today. He's reached on both occasions. He scored 2 runs. A 3 RBI double from LJ Mazzilli is the difference in this ball game right now, and there is some action in the bullpen for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. We don't have confirmation, though. It appears it might be Dalton Geeky up and throwing. Pitch a little bit low. And the count 1 ball and no strikes. More recently, Geeky has sort of been platooned with Wells, and they will sort of tag team for 6 or 7 innings. So they did last time around. Pitch, swing and a miss. A wild swing from Johnny Turbo, so much so that he lost his balance. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runner on first base, a 1-run lead for the Long Island Ducks. A lot of 1 differentials here. 1 more hit for the Ducks, 1 more error for the Ducks. Butler set. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a foul tip, and Ryan Howe couldn't quite hang on to it. Clearly stung him a little bit. He started shaking his arm out. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes on Johnny Turbo. Pitch count to 107 for Eddie Butler. Through 5 1/3 innings with a runner on first base. So far for Butler, the numbers on the evening: 5 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks. He struck out 6. The hit number just too high tonight for Eddie Butler, as he tries to work through some trouble against Johnny Turbo. Throws to first, check on the runner. That's Vladimir Frias, who dives in safely. Frias, the switch hitter, drove 1 through the right side for a base hit just moments ago. Following Turbo, it'll be LJ Mazzilli on deck. He was the one who's the difference in this ball game, but for now, still dealing with Johnny Turbo. 1-2 pitch, swinging a high fly ball, left center field, rather deep. Sundberg back to the warning track at the wall. He leaps. He's not going to get it. It's off the wall. Throwing in from center field, it's Zach Collier. It's a double for Johnny Turbo. Vladimir Frias held up at third base. He couldn't go too much further as Jack Sundberg was up against the wall and nearly made the catch. So he had to hold up around second base, and Zach Collier was there to field it. It appears as though Jack Sundberg is just all right. He went crashing into that Sports Clip sign. That Sports Clip sign is also a door that opens in the Mini Monster. so that fans can go in and out, or not fans, the personnel can go in and out toward the clubhouse area. He went crashing into that wall, which still does not look perfectly even. You just have to hope that Jack Sundberg is all right. Either way, there are runners on second and third with one out in the top of the sixth. And I'm sure that Eddie Butler is not thrilled to see L.J. Mazzilli, who drove in 3 runs last time up. So from second base, it's Johnny Turbo. From third, Vladimir Frias. 5-4. Long Island leads in the top of the sixth. Pitch. Breaking ball. Line drive. Hard hit. Third base side foul. Oh my, that ball was well struck off the bat of L.J. Mazzilli. Better struck than his double earlier. That was really just a chopper down the third base line. A perfectly placed ground ball past the reach of Crosby and all the way into the corner. Count, no balls and 1 strike. Pitch number 110 for Eddie Butler. 2 runners in scoring position. The Ducks looking to add to their 1-run lead. 0-1 pitch. Fastball, line drive to left. Coming in, it's Sundberg. He makes the catch. He'll throw to the plate. The throw is in time. What a play. It's L.J. Mazzilli who flies into a double play. A line drive to left. Sundberg fires home. The throw to the plate in plenty of time to get Vladimir Frias. A strike from Jack Sundberg in left. And the Blue Crabs keep the deficit at 1 run. It's the Ducks 5. It's the Blue Crabs 4 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Five, 4, the Ducks lead in the bottom of the 6th inning, and the Ducks go to the bullpen. They bring in, get this, Jose. So that's the deal. A new pitcher into the ball game for the Ducks, and he's got this interesting squat he goes with on the pitcher's mound, where he bends his knee, stares into the catcher, And then he brings that left arm forward, almost like a spider. He's got like fangs coming out there. Bottom 6, Braxton Lee comes to the plate. First pitch, called strike at the belt. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. 6, 7, and 8 in the order due up. Braxton Lee, Jared Walker, and Ryan Howard in the bottom of the 6th inning. Jose last pitch in Mexico. Pitch, foul back, and the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Couple of interesting names on the Long Island Ducks. First, Jose, and the second is Johnny Turbo. Turbo, of course, changed his name more recently. He thinks he's got a lot of speed. He does have some speed, although I'm not sure he's one of the top 5 fastest players in the Atlantic League. Meeting at the mound as Joe DiCarlo wants to go over some things with Jose, who pitched in Durango with Mexico earlier this year. The Generales de Durango had a 2-2 record, a 5.59 ERA across 29 innings. This is his first appearance with the Long Island Ducks. Last year, he spent some time with Winnipeg in the American Association, along with Gastonia here in the Atlantic League. And 20 2/3 innings, he had a 2.61 ERA with Gastonia last year. Pitch, ground ball, over towards second. It's on the ground. It's thrown to first from the second baseman, LJ Mazzilli. And there is one away. Quick first out from Jose. Here comes Jared Walker. Walker still searching for his first hit in this ballgame. His batting average has dropped to .232. Again, he's got that home run pop in his bat. There's no question about that. The 13 home runs that leads the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs by 4. Harris with 9 homers. DeLuca with 8. First pitch, called strike at the belt, and the count, no balls and 1 strike. He's 6th in home runs. ECI's Tejada with 14 on Lexington, and then, of course, Xander Beal with 20. In the top 3, Courtney Hawkins with 29, Carlos Franco with 25, and Kelly Dugan, he's been injured recently, but he has 23. Count, no balls and 1 strike on the left-handed hitter. To think that Courtney Hawkins with 29 home runs has not been picked up by a team in the Atlantic League is, to put it quite frankly, mind-boggling. Pitch, swing and a miss, and a pitch in the dirt, and the count, no balls and 2 strikes. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bottom of the 6th inning, the Ducks have a 5-4 lead over the Blue Crabs. .0-2 pitch upcoming from the lefty. Jose. Pitch. A little bit low. Count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Blue Crabs don't have anybody named Jose. Be fun to have a Jose. And 2 is enough, I guess, though. Runner on, or base paths are empty in the bottom of the 6th inning. 1 out, 5-4, Long Island. Pitch from Jose. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Jose elevates. And he gets Jared Walker swinging. There are 2 away in the bottom of the 6th inning. And here comes Ryan Howard. Well, Jose has had his stuff look good so far. He's not throwing all that hard. He throws 90-91. The changeup, though, and the slider we're going, and he got the strikeout on Jared Walker. He elevated at 91, and there are 2 away. Haug digs back in. Jose set at the belt. 5-4 Long Island pitch. Called strike. Count, no balls and 1 strike. Let's run back through this ball game. The Ducks scored one in the top of the third. From there, Michael Wolanski hit a two-run home run in the bottom of the third. Gave the Blue Crabs the lead. It would be short-lived as the Ducks scored 3 runs in the top of the fourth and took a 4-2 lead. Lead was extended to 5-2 in the fifth. Pitch, wave and a miss again. Elevates with a fastball, and the count no balls and 2 strikes. Then in the bottom of the fifth inning, the Blue Crabs came back with 2 runs. Cut the deficit to 5-4. That's where we stand in the bottom of the sixth. Ducks out hitting the Blue Crabs 11-9. As the Blue Crabs look to get back in this ball game. 0-2, up and in, count 1-2. 2 away in the bottom of the sixth inning. Again, as always, fans, if you'd like to comment in the YouTube chat, we always love to hear a discussion in the YouTube chat, hear what's going on from some Blue Crabs fans. If you're listening from Long Island, we also appreciate the viewership. Pitch to Haug, popped up. Behind home plate, it's the catcher, Joe DiCarlo. Throws off the mask and makes the catch for the final out. Well, the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs are retired in order by Jose. Jose, we go to the top of the seventh. It's the Ducks 5 and the Blue Crabs 4 on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Back in the top of the 7th inning, Dalton Geekie enters. First pitch called strike on the outside corner. And the count, no balls and 1 strike on Lou Ford. Top of the 7th, 5-4, the Ducks lead. Give you all the numbers on Dalton Geekie in just one moment. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swinging a line drive. 1 hopper over to Michael Wolanski at second. He fields and fires the first. 1 up and 1 down. Last time out, Dalton Geekie pitched on July 14th. 3 really good innings. They were scoreless, allowed 1 hit. Then he ran into trouble in the 4th inning, where he allowed 1 hit, 2 walks, and 2 runs. Only recorded 1 out in that 4th inning of work. So his final line at Staten Island, his last time out, 3 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. On the year, a 1-1 record. Dalton Geekie with a 3.71 ERA, especially earlier in his outings. He's starting to pitch a lot better. He had a great year last year, and the number is really turning around this year as well. First pitch low and in the count, 1 ball and no strikes on Alejandro De Aza. Last year, Dalton Geekie was really that 7th inning guy consistently, and he's proven it yet again this year that he's worthy of that title. And he's pitching here in the 7th inning, looking to set things up for Andres Briseño in the 8th pitch. Hard line drive, first base side foul, count 1 ball and 1 strike. You talk about a guy like Andres Briseño, who comes into today's ball game with a 0.83 ERA and a 0.86 WHIP. Numbers like that just don't come around all that often. Geekie set, 1-1 pitch. Bunt attempt from Alejandro De Aza. I'm not sure he ever pulled back. Pitch was low and in. Either way, it looks like the count's going to be 2 balls and 1 strike. Oh, they motioned down to third. Bill Worthington said he went around. Count 1 and 2. Well, I was going to say, I don't think he ever pulled back, and third base umpire Bill Worthington agreed with me. Sort of tried to get out of the way, but he never took his bat away. So the count 1 and 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Pitch, check swing, that's inside. This time, De Aza clearly held up. And the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Talking about some of his numbers last year, Dalton Geekie had a 2-2 record with a 3.22 ERA a season ago. Before he ran into trouble in that 4th inning of play against Staten Island, his ERA was down toward 3.2. 2-2 pitch on the ground back towards second base. Another 4-3 put out as Wolanski tosses the first. 2 up and 2 down into the top of the 7th. Base paths are empty as Sam Travis comes to the plate in the top of the 7th. A pair of 4-3 putouts to get us started as Travis digs back in. And thank all the fans for tuning in tonight. We apologize for not having our traditional broadcast set up. First pitch, breaking ball a little bit upstairs in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Large-scale blackouts from Boxcast has prevented our game from going live on YouTube the way it traditionally does. So I'm updating you on score as much as possible. Pitch, big swing and a miss in the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. A strong start for Dalton Geekie in this 7th inning of work. 2 up and 2 down. Count, 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 down. Count. On Sam Travis, check swing, fouled over to the first base side. And the count, 1 and 2. Well, Geekie's thrown just 10 pitches so far to retire 2 batters. Back-to-back 4-3 putouts. Let's see if Sam Travis will tie a record set by many. 1-2 pitch, a little bit low. And the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. Now that I come to think about it, I'm sure there's been a 4-3. It's not a putout, but a single in an inning. And it also had 3 4-3 putouts. So there'd be 4 4-3s scorings in an inning. I have to imagine that's happened at least once. Pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. We don't have 3-4-3 putouts. Instead, pair of groundouts to second and a strikeout to finish things out for Dalton Geekie in the 7th. 1-2-3 inning. We go to the 7th inning stretch. It's 5-4 Ducks on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Nine, 1, and 2 to come to the plate in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Ducks 5, the Blue Crabs 4 from Regency Furniture Stadium. A 1-2-3 inning from Dalton Geekie. Baca pops up first pitch. Joe DiCarlo gives chase, but he runs out of room rather quickly. In the count, no balls and 1 strike. New pitcher enters the game for the Long Island Ducks. We'll give you the numbers in just a couple of moments. It's Nick Goody who comes on the mound. Pitch, swinging a foul ball, first base side once more. Count, no balls and 2 strikes. Goody comes in with a 2.84 earned run average. Base path's empty. Count, no balls and 2 strikes on Michael Baca. Goody is set. 0-2. Swinging a ground ball through the right side for a base hit. Michael Baca with his 2nd hit of the game, the tying run on first base in the bottom of the 7th for the Blue Crabs. Well, the Ducks lead this one 5-4. They scored 5 runs between the 3rd and 5th innings. Another Maryland with 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 5th, and would like some runs here in the 7th. That Andres Briseño is up and throwing for the Blue Crabs. Briseño threw 30 pitches back on Saturday night in an inning to get the save. Allowed 2 base runners, a lot of deep counts. In fact, there were 3 3-2 counts. Struck out a pair, he walked 1. This one bunted down the 3rd base line, gonna be a tough play, and the 3rd baseman Romero has trouble with it. It's a base hit for Jack Sundberg, who bunted down the third base line. It was going to be a tough play for Romero. He tried to barehand it and didn't field it cleanly. So Sundberg to first, and now Baca to second. The Blue Crabs have runners on first and second with nobody out, and Michael Wolanski comes to the plate. Wolanski 2 for 3, hit a 2-run home run earlier in this ball game. He's driven in 2, he's scored 2 runs, and the Blue Crabs trail 5-4. The tying run is in scoring position. The go-ahead run on first base. Well, that's going to be called an error. Ooh, a tough break for Romero, a tough break for Sundberg too at that, as the pitch runs inside of the count, 1 ball and no strikes. I thought that might be called a base hit, but called an error, as I guess Romero had an easy enough play on that ball, but it was going to be a tough throw to first base either way. He tried to barehand it, but it goes down as an error on the third baseman, Davinson Romero. 1-0 pitch, popped up first base side for Wolanski in the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. A lot of players are quite superstitious in the baseball world. Whether it's what they eat for breakfast, they're jumping over the third baseline. Wolanski's not so much that way, though. Said he used to be that way. He used to care a lot about what he ate for breakfast, the correlation, how many hits he had. And he said, you know what? It's just not there. 1-1 pitch, ground ball through the left side for a base hit. Rounding third, it's Michael Baca. Throw to the plate is up the line. An RBI single. Wolanski's got 3 hits. He's driven in 3 runs, and he's tied the game in the 7th. An RBI single for Michael Wolanski. Baca comes home and scores from second base. Meanwhile, Sundberg is second. The Blue Crabs have runners on first and second and nobody out in the bottom of the 7th inning, and this ball game is tied at 5. They're not done yet. Zach Collier to the plate, and he's followed by the Atlantic League leader in batting average, David Harris. A 5-5 game. The throwing has picked up from Endrys Briseño in the Blue Crabs bullpen. Mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Bradley Roney no longer with the team. Was put on the reserve list earlier today. First pitch is low and in on the count, 1 ball and no strikes. And that sort of opened the door for Dalton Geekie to pitch more, especially in that 7th inning role. And he just dominated with a 1-2-3 inning. And I would not be surprised to see the Blue Crabs really use Geekie, Briseño, and Baker a little bit more down the stretch in those 7th and 8th inning roles, and possibly the 9th inning role as well. You have to see what role Latos plays down the stretch here, as the 1-0 pitch is a little bit low. Count 2 balls and no strikes. Matt Latos not pitching quite as well as he did earlier in the season. We saw what he could do back in 2019. His ERA just a shade over 1, could probably be pitching in Major League Baseball in 2019. In 2021, a good year, ERA mid-2s, but this year it's up over 5. 2-0 pitch, swinging to this, count 2 balls and 1 strike on Zach Collier. Blue Crabs have tied the game here in the 7th inning. They trailed 5-2 back in the 5th inning. Scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th. They've got 1 here in the 7th and are still threatening. Count 2 balls and 1 strike now on the lefty Collier. Collier to be followed by David Harris and Alex Crosby. Goody the pitch. Popped up foul, third base side. And the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nick Goody, who came in with a 2.88 ERA, has seen that balloon to 3.55 after allowing just 1 run here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Nick Goody hadn't pitched all that many innings. He'd thrown just 12 2/3 for Long Island. He threw 15 innings down to the Mexican League. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 on. Pitch, swinging to this, strike 3. Nick Goody climbs the ladder and gets Collier to swing and miss at a high fastball for strike 3. 1 away in the bottom of the 7th, and here comes David Harris. Harris drove in a run back in the fifth inning. Kicks around some dirt from the right side. Harris 2 for 3, his batting average up to 248, in Atlantic League leading 248. Give you some of the top numbers in the Atlantic League in just one moment. First pitch, swing and a miss, a breaking ball, and Harris was way out in front of it. Count, no balls and one strike. David Harris hitting 348, the second best batting average. Joseph Rosa at 328. Beaza up at 328 as well. Kelly Dugan at 326. And the pitch, big wave and a miss yet again. A breaking ball low and out of the zone. And the count, no balls and two strikes quickly. Goody is throwing David Harris a fat diet of curveballs. Would be surprised if he goes back with a fastball, but might try to mix up the velocity on Harris. 0-2. Breaking ball, strike three. 3 pitches, 3 breaking balls, 3 strikes on Harris, and there are 2 away as Goody goes low and away and gets David Harris to chase. 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's up to Alex Crosby to try to keep this inning alive. But Wally Backman has come out to the mound. You have to wonder if they're going to make a pitching change here in Wallador. Well, Wally Backman takes the ball. Got a pitching change from Southern Maryland as the Blue Crabs and the Ducks are level at 5. Southern Maryland with runners on first and second with 2 outs when we come back. Well, Tyler Webb on the mound in the bottom of the 7th inning. First pitch from the lefty, swinging a high fly ball, left field, rather deep, but it's playable for Johnny Turbo in front of the warning track where he makes the catch for the final out. 1 pitch from Tyler Webb, who played in the major leagues as recently as last year, and he records the final out in the 7th. The Blue Crabs have tied the game. It's 5-5. We go to the top of the 8th. Endris Briseño to enter for the Blue Crabs. Oh, we go to the top of the 8th inning. Just had a chance to listen to Andres Briseño's walk-up song, Hot by Daddy Yankee and Pitbull. And I would say it's not just hot, it might be fire. Top of the 8th inning, 5-5 ball game. Briseño has entered the game. Romero will lead things off. First pitch called strike. The count, no balls and 1 strike. 5 runs on 11 hits for both sides. Oh, 1. Fastball, outside corner, count, no balls and 2 strikes. Andres Briseño has numbers that jump off the page, and I don't say that lightly. 4-0 record, 0.83 ERA. The whip at 0.86. 0-2 pitch, breaking ball. Just barely got a piece of it. The count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Briseño sits 95, can touch 96, 97, and even 98 on occasion. That first pitch was 95, the second fastball at 96. Well, Romero will be followed by Carlos Castro and Joe DiCarlo. 0-2. Swinging a ground ball foul, third base side over toward the Blue Crabs dugout. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. A 5-5 ball game. Ducks led by as much as 5-2. Blue Crabs scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th, 1 run in the bottom of the 7th. They've tied it at 5. Couple of practice swings from Davidson Romero, who steps back in. 2-2 pitch. Check swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did. Strike 3. Jerry Burrish, the first base umpire, said Davidson Romero went around. He can't believe it. There's 1 out in the top of the 8th inning. Meanwhile, Matt Latos warms up in the Blue Crabs bullpen. And he is expected to come into the 9th inning. I think whether the Blue Crabs have the lead or not. Here comes Carlos Castro with 1 away. 5 pitches, 5 strikes, and a strikeout for Andres Briseño as Carlos Castro comes to the plate. That last fastball, 96.5 from Andres Briseño. We've seen Briseño throw a lot of breaking balls more recently. In fact, when he pitched in High Point last time out, it was a majority sliders. Coming right around 84. Pitch, breaking ball, strike 1. They're both plus pitches, don't get me wrong. The fastball and the sliders are. They're both probably MLB caliber pitches. But it does seem that Andres Briseño is a little more reliant on that slider, and it's a good pitch. You can get it over for a strike. You can also bury it for a swinging strike. 0-2 delivery. Swinging a high fly ball, left field deep. This one back to the warning track at the wall. Sundberg leaps, and he made the catch. What a catch from Jack Sundberg on a pitch that was very well hit off the bat of Carlos Castro. Looked like that ball might get out of here off the bat, but instead, Jack Sundberg tracks it down and makes a terrific catch up against the wall. There are 2 away in the bottom of the 8th. Here comes Joe DiCarlo. Carlos Castro before, now Joe DiCarlo. A couple of Carlos in the lineup for the Ducks. Also a couple of Jose's, or really just one Jose. It's a double Jose. Jose pitched in the 6th inning for the Ducks. First pitch, fastball, foul back behind home plate. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. Carlos Castro hit an 84-mile-an-hour slider that was about 4 inches inside and nearly left the ballpark. That was very well hit. Count 0-1 now on Joe DiCarlo. Pitch. Swinging a high fly ball. Shallow left field. It's the shortstop Baca who backs up into the outfield grass where he makes the catch for the final out. Well, Andres Briseño, he throws just 8 pitches and records 3 outs. A 1-2-3 inning paired with a strikeout. It's 5-5. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Blue Crabs looking to take the lead when we come back. Bottom of the 8th inning, a 5-5 ball game. 5 runs on 11 hits for both the Ducks and the Blue Crabs. We apologize for some of our camera troubles we've had recently. Just trying to make sure we can get that all squared away. Our camera operator Isaiah is doing a terrific job. Have to deal with what we were working with tonight as we had some boxcast issues as our broadcaster broadcasts out toward YouTube. We did not get that stream up tonight because of some wide-scale problems they were having. The 1-0 pitch was upstairs. The 2-0 pitch swung on and missed. Down the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's the pitch now. That one on the inner half of the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Braxton Lee. 5-5 ball game. Bottom of the 8th inning, the Blue Crabs looking to break through and take the lead for the first time since the 3rd inning. 2-2 pitch, a little bit low and end of the count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Meanwhile, Matt Latos is warming up in the Blue Crabs bullpen. Blue Crabs looking to give Matt Latos the lead and maybe some insurance runs at that. 3-2 pitch, line drive, left center field, long run. The left fielder, that's Sam Travis, who tracks it down in front of the warning track. And he makes the catch for the first down. Well struck ball off the bat of Braxton Lee, who gave that ball a ride to left center, but Sam Travis tracks it down. And there's one away. Well, here comes Jared Walker. Lee, Walker, and Haug. Those are the 3 due up in the bottom of the 8th inning. First pitch, called strike at the knees. And the count, no balls and 1 strike on Walker. Lee, Walker, and Haug. Pitch, swinging a line drive, 1 hopper. Second baseman Mazzilli has trouble with it. It goes into center field. Deflects off of his wrist. And there's a runner on first base with 1 out. And it's a big runner on first base for the Blue Crabs at that. He represents the go-ahead run. against Tyler Webb, who's been the closer for the most part this year for the Long Island Ducks. Pitched for the St. Louis Cardinals last season. Also pitched with them back in 2019 and 2020. It's one of their main relievers. Pitch, swing and a miss on a breaking ball on the count 0-1. Was never all that consistent. But he's found himself here in the Atlantic League where he's made his home as a closer for the Ducks. Used to pitch long relief for the Cardinals. 0-1 pitch. Bounces in front of home plate. Walker waited a little too long. Didn't have a chance to get to second base. Count 1-1. Jared Walker is 5 for 6 in stolen bases this year. He was 11 for 13 last year across High A in the American Association. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Bottom 8. 5-5 ball game. Tossing over to first base once more. Walker back to the bag. Jared Walker 1 for 4. 8 Blue Crabs have hits in today's ball game. The only one who does not is Zach Collier. As the 1-1 pitch is upstairs and inside. Count 2-1. Collier has walked though, so all 9 Blue Crabs have reached base. Wolanski with 3 hits, 3 RBIs, and 2 runs scored. Harris with a pair of hits. He's also driven in a run. Braxton Lee, who just lined out to left center, is 2 for 4 in today's ballgame. And Michael Baca on deck. He's 2 for 3. 2-1 pitch looked awfully good, but a little bit upstairs. And the count is 3 balls and 1 strike. And thank everybody for joining us this evening. Those from Long Island who are joining us, along with those from Southern Maryland. 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. High fastball from Tyler Webb, and it gets Ryan Haug to bite. Ryan Haug with an on-base percentage north of .420. Primarily because of hit-by pitches. He has more hit-by pitches than he does walks. He's sitting on 23 hit-by pitches. Pitch, that came inside. It hit Ryan Haug. Well, right on cue. Ryan Haug had 23 hit-by pitches. That's his 24th. Came up and hit him on the arm. Was going to be ball 4 either way, but well, he gets first base. Runners on first and second with 1 out. Bottom of the 8th inning as Michael Baca comes to the plate. He'll be followed by Jack Sundberg. 9-1 will come to the plate. Baca a righty, Sundberg a lefty. Well, here comes Michael Baca, 2 for 3 in today's ballgame. Baca's somebody who hits significantly better on the road than he does at home. Came into this one hitting .260 on the road, .167 at home. But he has 2 hits in today's ballgame. First pitch, swing and a foul ball. Third base side out of play. The count, no balls and 1 strike. Against Long Island, he came in 2 for 21, but he's 2 for 3 today. Also scored a run. Count, no balls and 1 strike from Tyler Webb. Pitch. It's up and away, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 2 on for the Blue Crabs in the bottom of the 8th, looking to break through and take the lead for the first time since the 3rd inning when the Blue Crabs led 2-1. Pitch. Swinging a foul tip. And the count now even, or count now goes to 1 ball or 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. You don't have the count right on the left field side, so I view the count as a little bit obstructed. We beg your pardon for that. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. 2 on for the Blue Crabs in a 5-5 ball game. Tyler Webb, pitch, foul back to the netting. Count remains 1-2. Blue Crabs now out hitting the Ducks 12-11. Pitch, swinging a high chopper over towards short. Charging in, it's Frias. Throw to first is in time. And there are two away. Well, Jack Sundberg to the plate. Two away in the bottom of the 8th inning. Blue Crabs have 2 on with 2 outs. 2 in scoring position at that. At third base, it's Jared Walker. Second base, Ryan Haug. Walker a base hit. Haug walked. First pitch, foul tip from Jack Sundberg. Count no balls in 1 strike. Briseño threw just 8 pitches in the 8th inning. Does not look like he's poised to come back to the mound, though, as Matt Latos has been up and throwing for the last 15 minutes. Pitch popped up, shallow left field. Out into the shallow left, it's Sam Travis who comes in and makes the catch for the final out. Blue Crabs had 2 base runners in the inning. They had 2 in scoring position, but they strand 2 at the end of 8. It's Southern Maryland 5. It's Long Island 5 on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Matt Latos enters in the top of the 9th inning. The Blue Crabs 5, the Ducks 5. As Vladimir Frias comes to the plate. Latos, first pitch, shows bunt, pulls back, pitches low, count 1 ball and no strikes. Frias, Turbo, and Mazzilli, 8, 9, and 1 due up for the Ducks in the top of the 9th inning. Latos, the pitch, popped up, left side. Alex Crosby drifts into foul territory. He gets under it and makes the catch. 2 pitches, 1 out for Matt Latos in the top of the 9th inning. Here comes Johnny Turbo. I'm going to have a chance to talk with Johnny Turbo tomorrow and discuss that name he's got. Of course, it's unique. He didn't change his name. Turbo, as you might imagine, was not his name at birth. Either way, it's an interesting story, and the guy, he's got some speed. I'm not sure he's top 5 in the Atlantic League in speed, but he's got some speed. First pitch, swing and a miss. The count, no balls and 1 strike. Base path's empty, 1 out. 5-5 ball game. Latos is set. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Called strike 2, outside corner. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. On the year, Johnny Turbo has stolen just 5 bases. He's 5 for 7 in stolen bases, which is more or less average. Last year he stole 25, or I beg your pardon, he stole 31. 31 on a 37 pitch. Swinging a ground ball, first base side. It's a fair foul ball. Appeared to be fair for a few moments, but it's the Blue Crabs' first baseman, Jared Walker, who initially had trouble with it. The first base umpire, Jerry Burrish, bails him out and says, no, it's a foul ball. Don't have to worry about it. Count, no balls and 2 strikes as Turbo takes his time walking back from first base. Johnny Turbo set a career-high 38 stolen bases back in 2019. Played as high as AAA with Norfolk back in 2018. Never reached the major league level. Also played in AAA in 2015 with Salt Lake, the affiliate of the Los Angeles Angels. 0-2 pitch upcoming to Johnny Turbo. Latos set. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing, a high pop-up, foul territory. It's the catcher, Ryan Howe, who gets under it and makes the catch. 2 pop-ups, 2 outs for Matt Latos in the top of the 9th. Here comes LJ Mazzilli with 2 outs in the 9th in a 5-5 game. First pitch from Matt Latos. Foul back to LJ Mazzilli. Mazzilli's had a big game. He drove in 3 runs back in the 4th inning. He's really the reason we're tied. A 3 RBI double with 2 outs in the 4th inning. Eddie Butler trying to get out of a bases loaded jam. Ground ball down the 3rd baseline. At the time, gave the Ducks a 4-2 lead. Later led 5-2, but the Blue Crabs came back and tied it. 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 5th, 1 in the 7th. 0-1 pitch, popped up foul yet again, count 0-2. Latos has thrown 8 pitches, 7 strikes. Head in the count, no balls and 2 strikes as the baseball drops just in front of us to our left outside. Landed on the roof, and every once in a while, learned this from Andrew Banstrom before he left, someone will go up onto the roof and collect the baseballs up top. There aren't that many of them, to my surprise. 0-2, 5-5 ball game in the top of the ninth. Latos, the pitch. Upstairs. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, I should say. Base paths are empty in a 5-5 game. Here's the pitch. Bounces in front of home plate. Latos tried to get Mazzilli to bite, but he held back. Count 2-2. If you're a fan of the Ducks or the Blue Crabs, we welcome you to this ball game in the top of the ninth inning. Ducks led the majority of the way, but we're now tied at 5. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Mike Mackey rings up LJ Mazzilli to end the top of the ninth inning. We go to the bottom of the ninth. The Blue Crabs look to walk it off when we come back. Eduardo Ramos enters. First pitch to Michael Wolanski's fouled back in the bottom of the ninth inning, a 5-5 ball game. Well, I'm not sure the Blue Crabs could ask for a better 3 to start the bottom of the ninth. Wolanski followed by Collier and Harris. 2, 3, and 4 in the Southern Maryland order. 0-1 pitch, fouled back, count 0-2. Eduardo Ramos pitched in Major League Baseball from 2016 through 2019. His best year coming with the Phillies in 2018, where he had a 2.32 ERA. Not exactly stellar in save situations. We'll get there in a moment. Pitch, that's a little bit inside and low. And the count 1-2. It's a gutsy pitch for Michael Wolanski to take, just a little bit down. 1 for 9 in his career in save opportunities. It's a little unfair, though, because if you blow any opportunity in the 8th, it also goes down as a blown save, but you really didn't have a save opportunity to start with. Pitch, that one fouled off his foot. Went fair, but trickled foul. I think that Wolanski thought it was foul all the way, but Joe DiCarlo is playing as if it was fair, and Mike Mackey didn't give the foul call until significantly later. More recently, Edobre Ramos has pitched with the Kentucky Wild Health Genomes, came over in the trade with Austin Rye. Rye earlier with the Blue Crabs. Ramos with a 5.4 ERA, 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike three. Wolanski, a strikeout victim. He was 3 for 4 in this ball game with 2 runs scored and 2 RBIs, but he falls victim to a strikeout here in the bottom of the ninth. 1 away, Ramos gets things started on the right note. Ramos started the year and had a lot of trouble early on as the first pitch is away for ball one. Count 1-0, 1 out, bottom 9, 5-5 game. Had an 18 ERA in the month of May. In June, had a 4.66 ERA. In July, just a 2.70 ERA. Count 1-0. Ball came in from the right field side. That's why we stopped playing momentarily. 1-0 pitch to Collier. Line drive, right center field. It's a base hit. Alejandro De Aza after it. Collier digging for 2. The throw is not in time. Zach Collier, a 1-out double. The Blue Crabs have the winning run in scoring position. Blue Crabs, now with every player in the lineup, has picked up a hit. A double from Zach Collier is the 13th hit of the ball game for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, and David Harris comes to the plate. Exactly what the doctor ordered for Southern Maryland. Pitch upstairs, count 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. 1-0 delivery. Swinging a ground ball to short. A little bit of trouble with it for Frias. Throw to first is in time. Oh, they got him. And the Blue Crabs cannot believe it. They're saying Harris was safe at first base. And Stan Kleiber going to come out to have a word with Jerry Burish. And Stan Kleiber is saying, no, he's very clearly safe. He said, at least confer with the other umpires here. And from the vantage point of everybody here in Southern Maryland, they couldn't believe it. He looked safe at first base. Stan Kleiber says his piece to Jerry Burish, who makes a very controversial out call at first base. Either way, the Blue Crabs will send Alex Crosby to the plate. Extremely controversial call over at first base as it was called out. Pitch, swinging a high fly ball, left field, it drops for a base hit. Blue Crabs win it. Alex Crosby walks it off in the ninth. Southern Maryland winners 6-5. The Blue Crabs don't get the benefit of the doubt of the call at first base, but Alex Crosby goes the other way, and the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs win it 6-5 in the bottom of the ninth inning. What a ball game. Southern Maryland fought from behind for virtually the entire contest, save a short spell in the third inning, and the Blue Crabs pick up the win. A line drive to left field from Alex Crosby gives the Blue Crabs an 8-5 record here in the second half. They moved to 56-23 on the year. Southern Maryland winners tonight, thanks to an RBI single from Alex Crosby in the bottom of the ninth inning. Let's run you through the box score, a couple of pitching numbers tonight, and then we'll sign off on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Well, the Blue Crabs fell behind in the bottom of the third inning. The first run went to the Long Island Ducks. Southern Maryland Blue Crabs fell behind in an Alejandro Diaz single up the middle. It scored Johnny Turbo. The Blue Crabs took a 2-1 lead when Michael Wolanski hit a two-run shot in the bottom of the third. In the top of the fourth, though, L.J. Mazzilli with a 3 RBI double gave the Ducks a 4-2 lead. It was 5-2 when Davidson Romero singled to left. Michael Baca then drove in a run on a bizarre single to right field that included an error. David Harris then drove in a run on a line drive to left center. And the bottom of the seventh inning was Michael Wolanski, who came up big again, a single to left field. It drove in Michael Baca and tied the game at 5. In the bottom of the ninth inning was Alex Crosby. A line drive to left field to score Zach Collier. Give the Blue Crabs a 6-5 win. Your box score today, the Blue Crabs had hits from everybody in the lineup. Who had multiple hits today? Michael Wolanski, 3 for 5, 3 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Braxton Lee was 2 for 4 in today's ball game. Michael Baca, 2 for 4 with a run scored. Your pitchers today for the Blue Crabs: Butler went 6 innings, 11 hits, 5 runs, all 5 earned. He walked 2, he struck out 6. Dalton Geeky, a scoreless inning with a strikeout. Briseño, a 1-2-3 scoreless inning with a strikeout. And Matt Latos, a 1-2-3 scoreless inning with a strikeout. The 7th, 8th, and 9th innings all went the same way tonight. The bullpen was terrific yet again for the Blue Crabs. Southern Maryland will be back in action tomorrow at 6:35 right here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. We appreciate all the support from our fans. And all the encouraging words from Donnie Geeky and Peter Worrell. We appreciate your input in the YouTube chat as well. We'll be back with you tomorrow night, 6:35 p.m. on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. But for tonight, Austin Rooney saying so long from Regency Furniture Stadium. We finish, as always, let's go